Marketing gurus love to talk about how the baby boomers are retiring. But I say to them, don't get ahead of yourselves. Baby boomers are not going to stop working or spending anytime soon. Grocery stores and drugstores depend on these shoppers, and they will for many years to come. Private label manufacturers need to understand that the baby boom generation is actually a highly diverse group, and that their assumptions about working and retiring have changed a lot recently. Now, the baby boom was a huge one-time increase in America's birth rate that started in 1946 and ended in 1964. It became a label that describes more than 77 million people, or more than 1/4 of the U.S. population. This year, the oldest boomers are turning 65. This means that about 10,000 people are going to celebrate their 65th birthdays every day for the next 19 years. That's certainly a big deal. But today, the vast majority of boomers still work for a living. More than 8 out of 10 boomers aged 45 to 54 are in the labor force, along with nearly 2/3 of those aged 55 to 64. And retirement is not in sight for many of these folks either, because the Great Recession did a lot of damage to a lot of retirement accounts. 10 years ago, a survey by the financial company Sun America found that Americans aged 55 to 64 are expected to retire at age 64. But when Sun America took that survey again this year, the expected retirement age had gone up to 69. Now, how much a baby boomer can spend on food mostly depends on how many people they live with. Married couples and other households where adults live together have the most to spend because they usually have more than one income. About 2/3 of boomers are married. Families with children are the top spenders on food, and most boomer families are still raising kids. More than 3/4 of families headed by young boomers in their late 40s include children. That share drops to about 60% for householders aged 50 to 54, and less than 40% for older boomers aged 55 to 64. But of course, a lot of the children in those older boomer households are not really children anymore. Another byproduct of the recession is that more than 4 million Americans between the ages of 25 and 34 now live with their parents. In fact, 70% of older baby boomers say they expect to give financial support to their adult children, and most boomers also expect to support their grandchildren. 1/4 of older boomers expect to support a sibling, and 20% are also looking out for a parent. But look on the bright side. Big family dinners could be making a comeback. So don't wave bye-bye to baby boomers just yet. Most of them are under the age of 55, and even the older ones still spend more than the national average on many important product categories. Older boomers spend heavily on housewares and housekeeping supplies, fresh meat and produce, pets, toys, entertainment, and reading material. And of course, consumers aged 55 and older are the most important consumers for drugs and medical supplies. Marketers have made enormous profits by focusing on the baby boom generation. It's important to remember that the ride isn't over yet. For PLMALive, this is Brad Edmondson.